Will you want to work now?
I am, yes.
Alright, what's your code?
It's EA44.
Alright, Robert, you can perform next stop. Thank you.
Thank you. If you guys don't have the McDonald's app, I know I shouldn't be eating it, but it's a game changer. Lots of discounts, lots of deals, cheap food. Can't beat it. The bag is secured, but first, let's eat, and then we'll rate. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I just recently went on a trip this past weekend. A trip that I've been looking forward to for so many years, something I always wanted to do, especially the theme park that has been a bucket list item since it was announced. But my travel plans did not go basically as planned. So with that being said, if you guys are ready, I usually say let's go on a sharp adventure, but we're going to be going on a ranting adventure. Now, before we get started, if you guys have not done so already, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. And right next to that, yeah, it's that little like button. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Whether you're watching on your phone, computer, your TV, click it, tap it with your finger, use the remote. It really does help out the channel go a very long way here on YouTube. Basically, what I want to talk about, I'm going to recap my entire debacle of a trip from early morning to afternoon, evening, late night, back to early morning. Now, my day started at 3:30 in the morning just because I had to get ready before I headed to the airport. I decided to fly out of Atlantic City, New Jersey, and for people who have flown out of this airport, it's very tiny. It's almost like a hidden gem, but people know about it. I usually never have any issues flying out of here. The TSA is quick and easy. I can literally get up to my gate in less than 5-10 minutes, let's say. My flight out of AC was for 6 o'clock, so boarding time was 5:15. I left the house a little after 4 o'clock. And of course, while I was leaving, I got a notification from Spirit Airlines, which is who I was flying. So I'm sure you guys are already saying to yourselves, well, that's why I don't fly Spirit, and Spirit is the worst. Trust me, I've heard it all before. This is the first time I've ever had a problem with them, and this will be the last time I have a problem with them. Anyways, I got a notification for my flight coming back from Orlando, Florida, MCO, which is where I was headed. My flight was delayed an hour. I had a 9:26 flight back home, same day. Got moved to a little after 10:30, which I didn't care for because I was going to Epic Universe, which is the theme park that I've been looking forward to since it was announced. And hey, I had an extra hour to spend in the park. No big deal. Didn't think much of it. Anyways, back to Atlantic City. I got there exactly at 5:10. Like I said, my flight was boarding at 5:15. I literally made it through TSA up to my gate. My group was being called. I was in group 2. And I was on the plane all before 5:30, which is absolutely crazy. You can never do this basically at any other airport or major airport. I'm sure there are some smaller airports where you can do this, but this is why I do love flying out of here. It's just so easy. You park, you walk right up, and you don't have to spend 2-3 hours in airport like you normally would. Let's say if I was flying out of Philly. But here's where my first delay started. We did not end up flying out until over an hour later at 6:36 to be exact. There was a plane next to us that was delayed on getting out of their gate who boarded before us, but we had to wait on them. And because it's cold in New Jersey this time of year, there was ice on the wings. So they had to de-ice the plane before us, and then we got de-iced afterwards, and we're finally able to take off. But anybody that has been delayed on a plane, especially when you're already sitting on the tarmac, it feels like it takes eternity. But even though it was only an hour, I felt like I was there for 4 or 5 hours. But we finally made it into the air, and let's just say this was not the smoothest flight at all. I mean, I know this is something that pilots or the airlines can't control, but there was literally turbulence the entire trip. It wasn't crazy, but it was just enough to be more of an annoyance. But other than that, we did land at MCO pretty smoothly. And anybody that has flown into MCO, especially on Spirit, you do realize that the terminal for Spirit is on the complete other side of MCO. And MCO is a very big airport. The nice thing about getting off the plane though, I was an 18-hour trip, which I know sounds crazy, but like I said, I've been looking forward to this for so long. But I had no bags. I was sitting pretty close, I think row 5 or row 6. Got off the plane pretty quickly. First thing I had to do though, because I've been up for 5 hours, I believe, had to get something to eat and something to drink. So I decided to go to Dunkin' and get me a coffee and a donut. But I'll tell you, once I ate that donut, I definitely had the start of a migraine coming on. Didn't think much of it at the time because it was very subtle at the moment. I figured maybe I just needed more caffeine, some water, maybe some more food, and it would go away in the middle of the day, if not earlier in the day. But one of the smoothest parts about MCO was getting the Lyft, and the Lyft was rather cheap this time around. It was under $20. I know they were doing a promo, which Lyft always does a promo. That's why I try to use them more than I use Uber itself. Backtrack, we did land in MCO a little bit before 9. The goal was to get to Epic Universe before 10 o'clock, which did happen. We got there at 9:42 to be exact. The park did open at 9 o'clock for guests staying at select hotels on Universal property, which didn't really bother me too much. They only get access to so many different portals in the park, so not everything was going to be crowded. But anyways, we got in there exactly, or a little bit before 10 o'clock. Now, I really did want to vlog Epic Universe, but when I got there, I kind of just wanted to take everything in without the camera. And I was going to tell myself that I would vlog a little bit later on in the day, but who was I kidding? I knew that wasn't going to happen, especially because I was going through the lines and I wasn't filming, and I wish I would have done that, even though I wouldn't have talked or anything like that, because I wasn't going back in these lines because some of these lines had long waits. But I'm not going to get too detailed into the whole Epic Universe trip. But when we did get there, we started off at Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein experiment. 10-minute wait, got right on that. And then we went right over to Curse of the Werewolf, which was about a 45 minute wait. Felt a little bit longer, but wasn't too bad as well for being there at exactly 10 o'clock. After that, we went over to Harry Potter to ride Battle at the Ministry, which it did break down one time while we were waiting in line, but at the time we got there, it was only a 90-minute wait, which is absolutely insane because usually around that time, it can be anywhere upwards of 180 minutes. After Harry Potter, we decided to go to Isle of Berk to ride Hiccup's Wing Gliders, and this was one of the rides that was only a 60-minute wait, but this 60-minute wait felt more like an 180-minute wait. And to be honest with you, I think one of the real reasons of that is because my little migraine was progressing even worse. And for anybody that's been to even just Universal in general, there are a lot of simulator rides, and those screens and getting whipped all over the place, I don't think was helping me at all. But we made it on Hiccup's Wing Gliders, probably one of my favorite coasters there, especially because, well, I didn't tell you guys this one, but Stardust Racers was closed. It was supposed to actually open up the day that we were coming to Epic Universe, but it got pushed back, not once, but twice, all the way till I believe March 14th is the new estimated date to open. But anybody that is going there, if you are planning to go after that time, just expect Stardust Racers to still be closed. But anyways, Hiccup Wing Gliders was a surprise. For being a family coaster, that thing definitely packed a punch and I enjoyed it. But after that, we went over to Super Nintendo World, not to ride anything, but just to check out the land and, you know, get a sense of what it's about, because this was probably one of my most anticipated places to step into. But let me tell you, it was definitely sensory overload. It was so loud with the music. There's so many colors, there's so many things going on here and there, and it's just so overcrowded. I definitely just couldn't wait to get out of there any faster. But like I said, probably multiple times, my migraine was killing me. I felt so sick to my stomach. My eyes were hurting. We decided to go to the Oak and Star Tavern to get some barbecue, and this place was, again, another place I was looking forward to, and it definitely hit the mark. The barbecue there was absolutely amazing, and it's a place that I would stop in 10 times out of 10 anytime I go to that park. And after eating, my head did not feel any better. I tried to go to some of the stores in Epic Universe. Nobody sold any type of Tylenol or Advil, which I thought theme parks usually sold that. But that's okay. I was able to go to First Aid, and they gave me some extra strength Tylenol for free. I just had to give them my name, I guess, just in case I try to come back and get more. They don't want anybody to abuse it. And once I got the Tylenol, I decided to go to Starbucks to get a coffee because I've been up since 3:30. I needed, my go-to at Starbucks is the vanilla sweet cream cold brew. I got a large one, or venti, whatever you want to call it. And let me tell you, after I drank that and had the medicine, I felt like $100. But of course, like Florida likes to do, it started raining. Anyways, we went over back to Super Nintendo World. We rode Yoshi, which we waited longer than we should have. It was a very short ride. It was very slow, very boring. You probably heard about it before. If you follow Epic Universe, it's probably one of the worst rides. You shouldn't even wait there more than 5 minutes. That's okay, I had to check it out. It's something I'd never done before. But after that, we went over to Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, and this was a fantastic ride. I was a little skeptical with it being VR and being rather slow, but I had so much fun. It didn't even get me sick or anything. I know stuff like that does get people motion sickness, but it was such a fantastic ride. It's something I would do over and over again. Unfortunately, though, we could not ride Donkey Kong Minecart Madness because it was raining, and this is a ride that does not operate in the rain. And that's one of the unfortunate things about Epic Universe is when it rains, a lot of the rides get shut down. There's also not a lot of covering to keep out of the rain. But luckily for me, I brought a poncho that I bought years ago that has still not used, but finally got to put it to use this time around. But in the midst of all this, I was getting notifications, it seemed like every hour from Spirit about my flight. It was getting delayed further and further back. 11:30, then up to 11:22, and then to 12, to 12:30. The gates kept changing. Eventually, my time got delayed all the way until 1:30 in the morning. Let's say I wasn't looking forward to it, but it was almost like, what am I gonna do at this point? I pretty much had the whole day in Epic Universe. We kind of walked around, got to check the park at night. The park at night is absolutely beautiful. If you have the chance to go there, definitely stay till nighttime. If not, go a little bit later to stay till nighttime. You will not be disappointed whatsoever. After finishing up whatever I needed to do at Epic Universe, whatever I went to see at night, whatnot, finally got a lift back to MCO. I think we got there a little bit before 10 o'clock. Went through TSA. TSA wasn't terrible. It's MCO. It's going to be crowded 24/7 no matter what time you go. But we got there, went to our gate, and we basically sat there for 3-4 hours. And the rumor was that we were waiting for a flight from Austin to come to our gate. So that's why it was the delay till 1:30. And the flight got there, people unboarded, and I heard a bunch of groans. And then I heard somebody say it was canceled. I looked at my phone, and it was indeed canceled. The fact that you delayed this flight 4 hours, didn't say a word, you blamed it on weather, had us sit there hoping for 1:30, and it was canceled. My immediate reaction was to get up and go right to the service desk. There was 2 people that beat me there, but I was able to talk to somebody. We went through a whole bunch of different flights. The only flight that made sense for me was to fly 8 p.m. the next day, well, same day, but that Saturday, direct flight to Philadelphia, which my car wasn't there. My car was in Atlantic City, a whole another hour, maybe hour and 10 minutes away. But I said, that's fine. I would have my wife pick me up at that time and take me to go get my car. It wasn't a big deal. So my next train of thought was to let's find a place to stay. I literally called everywhere and anywhere, and there was nothing available at all. And I know that weekend was a Run Disney weekend, which is one of the busiest weekends down in Orlando, Florida. So that was probably one of the biggest reasons why I couldn't find a place to stay. And I was with my brother at the time, and I just told him, I can't sit in this airport for hours waiting for an 8 o'clock flight, because again, sitting at an airport, for some reason, feels like it takes absolutely forever. So my wife helped me out with this. She said that there was a Southwest flight at 8 in the morning to Philadelphia. It was around $154, which I know is rather pricey for a one-way ticket, but I feel like for being last minute, it wasn't too bad. Me and my brother immediately booked that flight. I went over back to the service. I canceled the other flight that I booked with them. And we basically left the terminal. We went to the main hub. We got food, which the food was terrible. I got a stromboli at some pizza place, which I think literally got me sick. But this was the first time in my whole entire life of flying that I was gonna have to stay in an airport overnight. And it's something that I never, ever want to do again. I only got like 2 hours of sleep in a 40-hour time period. It was so loud. People are so noisy. It's cold, even though I was bundled up. Like, it was so uncomfortable. We finally made it to the morning. I think I got up around like 6 o'clock, got my brother up. We walked through TSA. Not a bad wait at all. We got on the train to our terminal. And it's funny because the Southwest terminals are like night and day compared to Spirit. Spirit terminal in MCO is like a dungeon. It's dark. It's Spirit. It is what it is. Southwest has got the skylights. It's bright. There's so much food to eat. Everybody's happy. That right there just made me feel like I'm not flying Spirit ever again in my life, especially after this whole debacle. But it's funny because I was looking at the screen in the airport the night that our flight got canceled, and everything was delayed from Spirit. Everything, and most things were canceled, which was just absolutely crazy. I've never seen anything like that. I've only seen that on like movies and TV shows or the news. I never got to see that in person. But we made it over to the Southwest terminal, and our gate got changed one time, which didn't bother me, but it was kind of, PTSD from getting changed multiple times and canceled. That's why I felt a little weary of it. But the flight still boarded at 8 o'clock. We got on the Southwest flight, and I've been on Southwest before. I believe 7 years ago was the last time I flew them, so it's been a little bit. That was when they had the pick your own seat. But the flight was absolutely beautiful. It had chargers in the seat rest. It had free Wi-Fi, which Spirit, you got to pay for all that, and you can't even charge your phone on Spirit unless you have a portable charger. So there's that. And I got free snacks, and I got free soda, which, hey, I know it's little, but I'll take it, especially if it's free. But the flight itself was absolutely smooth. I literally did not feel a thing from takeoff to in the air to landing at the airport. We got to Philadelphia. We got right off. My wife was there to pick me up. She drove me all the way to Atlantic City, an hour and 10 minutes away. And because we were already over there, my parents were over at the Atlantic City boat show going on at the time. As much as I didn't want to go, I was running off with 2 hours of sleep and almost, let's say 42 hours. But I think at this point I was just running off of fumes and just didn't care. But went to the boat show. Boat show was crowded. The parking was unreal. I think near the convention center was $30-$40 just to park. We parked at, I believe, Caesars, if that's still there. I don't even know. I don't go to Atlantic City that often to know what's over there. But anyways, we did that. Then we went out to dinner with my parents, and then finally I got home and I crashed. But to make a long story short, after that, I don't think I'm ever going to be flying Spirit ever again. And like I said earlier, you guys are already saying to yourselves, that's why I don't fly Spirit. That's why I stopped flying Spirit. They're the worst. This always happens with them. It's what I hear, and I'm going to take what I hear and stick to my guns on who I fly with from now on. But we're going to get back onto what's next for the channel here. In a couple weeks, we do have opening day at Six Flags Great Adventure, which means I'm going to be uploading my videos on a weekly basis compared to what I'm doing now on an every other week basis. And I know this video is going to be coming out a little bit later than what I normally do, but I'm definitely going to have one more different video than a theme park before the opening day videos come out. But again, if you guys haven't done so already, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And I don't expect you to enjoy this video, but hopefully you take what I said from this video and look, go on the trip, do the trip, don't regret the trip. I don't regret anything. I wanted to do it for so long. I did it. I'm glad I did it. And unfortunately, this was my experience. But I'm not going to tell you guys to not do it. You do whatever makes you feel comfortable. But full circle, thumbs up this video. Like I said, watching on your computer, watching on your phone, the TV, click, tap with the finger, use the remote, give it a big thumbs up, as it does help the channel go a very long way here on YouTube. But with that, thank you all so much for tuning into today's video, and I will see you all in the next adventure, and it won't be a ranting adventure. See ya.